Okay. So yeah, I think basically yeah, for those people who actually listen to the recording, we just check it. So basically, I think for this just a very quick experience setting, because of right now it is our first oGV commission space, right? I think just to brief on like what you're going to go on for this entire journey, where in this entire OGX network touchpoint, right, you're going to have your WNC as your first touchpoint, which is actually a touchpoint for every team leader. And do take note that during March, you have your NLC. And for oGV, we are going to expect a functional visit, where this functional visit is mainly to support on physical booth visit and also support during physical booth. And I think another side is also going to have like oGV Summit happening on 24th to 26th of March that will going to specialize for oGV VP and team leader of marketing and sales. So this we're going to expect more towards like the competency building of marketing and sales and also the GV direction and also downscaling on the national campaign. So at the same time, we're going to have lead summit, whereby this summit will actually focus on team leader and team member of customer experience. Why this summit is because of before the RE start, where we actually to train up the facilitation of every single customer experience OC, right? And also the oGV side to actually build up so that they can actually ensure good customer experience during the RE realization. And lastly, I think during May, June, July, there's not much thing happening, and August we're gonna have my ideas happening. So with that, I think for entire oGV routine, right, it will actually go like this, where usually on the first week of every month, we shall have our town hall meet, which is actually a combined commission between oGV, A1, and also OGTA. And after that, between week 2, week 3, week 4, you can actually choose to book my one-to-one. I think mainly because of right now I haven't really have my MC director yet. So once I have MC director, the MC director A1 I handle on A1. For me, I handle on oGV one-to-one. So I will send the link during monthly. So after that, I think you expect because of each of the week, because of I think group week 1 and week 3, we will actually make it as a month of group coaching. As a way of group coaching. So each of the LC we actually separate into group coaching, and then after that we actually coach you all, like it's like I have a working space and discussion based on different LC needs. So I think that will be the space that we will have it. And after that, lastly on week 2 and week 4, right, that will be the commission meet that we usually have. But I think if mainly for like director, right, you're going to have your sub commission meet in week 2 and week 4. And I think mainly entire week at least it's going to take around 1 to 2 hours, or is it 1.5 hour usually. But I think you can expect around 1 to 2 hours for every week of each of the month. So unless we have like additional educational space happening, because of we're going to have downskill a lot of things, like including on GB, II education, a lot of education that we need to downskill in order to build our capacity, that will actually take up around 30 minutes. And this will actually expect that time we only will communicate whether tentatively we will have this kind of education space or not. So yeah, I think basically that's the entire flow of, oh wait, what's my slide? Oh, it should be here. Okay, so basically that's the entire flow of the OGX network routine. So before that, before I move on, do you have any question? If not, we can send away. Yeah. Yeah. I think basically why we put one-to-one as tentatively, because I think we implement group coaching instead of one-to-one. So each month, each of the group, which is each of the LC, you're going to receive a group coaching. But in case that you need ad hoc one-to-one, you can actually request with me. So yeah, that's basically the entire routine. Okay. So I think most of you are actually with, right? So yeah, I think with that, we'll move on to the next part on the agenda, which is on winter 22 post winter 2000, like this peak, which is I think winter peak post experience. So we go through on like winter 2022 standard fulfillment and also post experience checklist, right? So first thing first, I think if you are not so okay, if you are relatively new, not so sure what's happening, you can jot down all those questions, you can ask your predecessor. And if you really need more support, you can like ask me after the commission, or you can ask directly after the space. So first thing first, on winter 2022 standard fulfillment, I think just a very quick reality, right? Because right now, I think for Sunway, TU, Help, and Utah, and also, I think this is the few LC that already, and also Heroat, you already finished your RE. So by right, your standard should actually finish until the end of the standard 12, because of this should be the things that already delivered during the RE. So I think just to take note for this LC, right? Make sure you have a very good tracking because of right now is the standard is actually not tracked. And for other LC, even though I think you haven't started your RE, but take note that standard 1 and standard 2 is actually delivered even before RE. So by right, you should also start to track on your standard delivery tracking. So I think if you want to refer on the entire standard, you can refer here or you can click inside the link. There's a how you can collect the proof collection, right? So main thing here, the role that everyone need to do here is for those LC who actually already completed their RE. For example, I did Sunway, TU, Utah, Hera, and also Hell. Make sure the completion of and fulfillment of standard delivery from host and also home entity. Even though you are representing home entity, your role is also to keep track on IGV, whether it's from your LR or whether it's from your own LC to make sure they deliver the standard. Second part, on those LC who actually rest of the entity, make sure your preparation and also standard proof tracking is done well with the host and home entity. And even though this is from your past term, which is from your predecessor, right? You have the role to ensure these things is being executed and also being tracked well because of at the end of the day, what we want to see is we want to ensure 100% standard delivery fulfillment. That's why also make sure the customer experience is being delivered. So their experience actually going to greatly affect on the next peak performance because of they're going to promote the brand directly from what they experience, right? So I think this will be the entire winter 2022 standard fulfillment. So I think before I move on to next part, anyone got any question on this part? Can send a wave as well if you are clear, if you are very cool. Yeah. Okay, if you're cool, I assume that you know what to do, yeah. So I think make sure your predecessor, even though they end their term already, make sure they are here still supporting on you. Make sure there's expectation done so that you will not feel like I'm the one who actually doing all these things because it's important to take care of this bunch of people experience. It's going to affect on your term as well. So going to next part on post-experience checklist, right? I think if you heard before, we actually have an impactful winter campaign, but I think because of in the previous it's actually not being tracked and there's no proper accountability system. I think me and also IGV, because IGV we just have like a MC director elected. So I would have like synergy with them and to make sure these things are is actually discussed well. So you can go into the slide and also the tracker. Right? I think mainly you can come to the slide. I hope this is being, oh yeah, it's shared. Okay, so this will be the revised booklet of the impactful winter campaign, which is basically a post-experience campaign to pre-attraction campaign. Why you mention post-experience to pre-attraction is because of this is the things that need to done during post-experience and it will actually convert to a pre-attraction and exactly after that, what will be happening at attraction as well. So main thing here, this entire campaign, it started because of we want to focus on driving pre-attraction. And because what I think what we believe is this entire semester, like what they actually experience in their stories that will convert to whether how relevant is your project happening. Because of 40% of our previous customer actually referred or it's actually come from word of mouth. So mainly, I think not to bring up a lot of things here, mainly national role, why we actually implement this campaign. If you know, right now, national side, we actually have a digital marketing team, which is like we have MC director and also a bunch of team to focus on digital marketing because of right now we have implemented centralization for 1.5 years and wish to actually push further to utilize these things to actually drive the brand of in our channel to drive the credibility of our MYB project. So national channel include on Malaysian Youth Volunteer Instagram and Facebook and also Isaac Malaysia Instagram and Facebook. So we expect these two things can grow in order to help LC so that LC can utilize this resource. So what LC can gain from here is definitely is more on the reduce of capacity because of I think for those LC who are still developing or you are still very new in the marketing, you can actually directly utilize or plug and play these kind of things into your local community channel, UR channel, and any relevant channel. So you don't need to spend a lot of effort in actually creating marketing content. And this content is actually standardized to national campaign and national brand. So your role here, right? oGV, you have to make sure you have coordinate the promotional material collection and also localize the campaign after we have this entire thing. So IGV to just make sure the documentation of project and stories. So by right, I think for this entire campaign, what we will do is we will use a scoring system to encourage LC to drive these things because I think right now LC are almost at the end of the experience and also some of the LC they're still starting experience. we want to ensure there's stories collected and marketing material collected so that we can drive attraction for next term, which is basically your term. So I think what does it mean is mainly this scoring system, it actually represents that each of the LC will get how much, depends on how much score you get, it will actually reflected towards the priority, where it's like if you get like higher score, you get higher priority. And that priority means that national site will actually utilize your material that you promote, that you actually supplied to national site. And when we actually create those content, it will actually utilize your material to actually promote. And what is the benefit of this is we're actually going to increase the relevance because this material is actually show a higher relevance in your own community. But if those LC who are actually not able to actually get in top priority, don't worry, because of you still able to use the material of others LC to actually downskill it so that you can actually use it to promote your MIU project as well. But just more on the priority of your material when you want to utilize is actually being lower. So it's like we'll schedule the LC who actually get higher priority first. And it doesn't mean that you cannot do promotion because of you still can use their LC content, right? So main thing, this is how centralization works. And I think what we are collecting is we wish to collect customer experience sharing, opportunity provider beneficiary testimonials, organizing committee testimonial, and also any relevant project material. So I think to go very quick one, right? I think that will be, this is more on what we're actually collecting. But I think I just want to go into this tracking system directly. So if you actually go into tracking system, right, it will actually show, oh, not this way. It should be this spreadsheet. Okay, so this spreadsheet is actually the past term working space spreadsheet. But what we want to do is each of the LC, you have your own project here. And what we expect is that each of the project, you're going to like collect testimonials from my MYB, from your opportunity provider and beneficiaries, organizing committee, and also put down all those your project related material, which is like all those photo, videos in the folder, right? And all these things will convert to points. So after we put down all those links, right, that will actually convert to the plans. And then after that, we able to national site, we will actually able to utilize this resource to create content for attraction in next peak, which is basically upcoming peak. So each of project have to make sure you have at least their materials provided so that when we actually promote, we're able to do project-based marketing, right? Yeah. So I think basically that's the entire things and how it works. And after that, the most important part is you have to synergy with your IGV so that IGV can help you to collect and you are synergy with them to actually make sure you take accountability of these things so that next time attraction, your project is being promoted or you have the material to promote. Or in a way is how can we support national centralization to have your material promoted so they can reduce your marketing effectiveness, right? So I think with that, I will pause until right here. So you have any question on this part? Yeah. Deadline for this. Yeah, actually the deadline is actually the entire timeline is like until the campaign close, because I think by March, by middle of March we should already start our attraction, which is like national site. You actually create the material or to actually co-create the material from the LC the material that LC give, right? So main thing here is what we want to put down as attention is if LC don't supply the like if we don't have the resource from LC, we were unable to actually drive attraction because of we have limited resource to drive national centralization. Yeah. Oh, because your NRE by March, that's why you're concerned. Okay, I see. I think main thing here is at the middle of the at the middle of the RE, you already can start to actually collect the material. Like for example, how do they actually experience after second week or third week? But I think main thing here is at the end of the campaign close, because of during March, right? We actually utilize the national content first. After March, we only start to utilize the content that created by local site to drive project related project-based marketing. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't mean that before March you cannot do attraction. It means that more before March, national site, the attraction material created will utilize the material that already have first. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, question?
So inside this post, is it like will be insert for any interest only?
Okay, I think I can go through this part. Thanks for asking. So basically, I think the link, right, is if any relevant link that is actually be able to extract the data. Like for example, right, customer experience sharing. It can be like text form, it can be like Podio, it can be like you have your form, it can be like you have like the customer, they just share their experience in personal LinkedIn, which in a way that benefits them because it's their personal branding, right? So you just include the link that we can extract this kind of information. So you can use this kind of information to do our own promotional material. Same thing go for like opportunity provider. They can like in a text experience, text Podio, company, organization, individual, or social media page, all those things, right? For organizing committee testimonial is more towards like the OC, they also like more on share text, Podio, or their own personal LinkedIn. And then other than that, any photo and video we actually suggested to put it on because I think national side want to drive video marketing. That's why I think in a way, right? If you actually can see on the pointer system where if you put down testimonial on text form, all those things, right, you actually gain 1 point. But if you actually record a video for testimonial experience sharing, your point will double, which is you gain 2 points. So the reason why is because of video is one of our focus in national side. We will actually utilize this video content to drive video marketing. So we can provide resource, not necessarily to properly prepare material. Yes. Yeah, you can just provide the resource directly. But in case, right, you think that you want to create the material, is actually can, provided you have a capacity lah. Because I think mainly we won't stop like if you want to have any professional that can create much more better material, why not, right? So I think that one, if you're actually able to create that thing, like for example, I think last week, right, TU actually created MIB promotional video instead. So I think if you're actually able to create those kind of content, like you can see here, there's a star here, like additional point avoided based on your creativity and effort. So if you have more effort, we will actually give more points on because of your material is actually more quality. But if you're unable to do so, make sure you just provide the resource. We will actually create the content for you. Okay, I open a two more minutes for question. Yeah. I think when you synergy with your IG, right, make sure they're very aware of how important on supporting this entire campaign is because of this will impact on the next term. Yeah. Just tell them word of mouth marketing is super important. It's very, word of mouth marketing is the most impactful one in not just Asia Pacific, but also Malaysia. We have data to prove that. So I think, okay, thanks Orange waving. If you have more questions, you can let me know. And if no, you can start to kickstart this campaign and make sure you try your best. And yeah, just a very small competition among each other. So I think with that, we move on from winter to summer. So for summer, right? Mainly, I think on oGV summer checklist, we go on summer oGV checklist and also the working space. So I think for summer oGV checklist, right? Because of this is our first commission call, I think last time I actually created the checklist. You can go to this spreadsheet, and I actually created a video for tell you all what to do, right? So I think I won't emphasize a lot on this space, but mainly I think I just want to make sure you are very clear of uh how can you make sure these things is on track, right? Because right now we actually consider a bit of timeline delay, even though start from pre-attraction. One of the reason that I think in the past few term, right, the reason that we fail or the reason that we unable to perform because of the timeline delay. So I think this is something that we need to make sure you implement. I actually create a checklist and also what you now need to do and which one is something that must do and which one is something that can bring synergy with your synergy partner. So basically, I think the deadline is there, which if you see red color is basically is very urgent. So make sure most of the things that you understand well and what you need to do so that you can actually put down like whether you are done or complete in progress in each of the LC. I think the crucial part here is all this entire checklist that we want to do, because of already centralized every single tab is in this entire working sheet. So you can just utilize this working sheet to have your conversation with your own team in order to make sure you review, you prepare before your start attraction. Yeah, most of the time I think attraction fail is because of we didn't done our pre-attraction well. For example, I think just a show example for last pick, right? A lot of LC when they want to like book for physical booth, but because of that is the time that we come from virtual to physical, like we started to have physical trend, but LC unable to book for physical booth because of most of the club society already booked the slot. and they're unable to book a slot because they are late. So I think right now, because even though our attraction is actually start in March or even like at the end of March, you have to be aware of what is happening in your uni, what you need to prepare ahead so that you can drive your strategy even start from right now. So I think this is the conversation that you can have with your predecessor as well. But also most importantly, you need to be very clear of what needs to be done before you start attraction. So that will be the entire pre-attraction checklist. Same thing, I think also you can fill up your transition progress from here so that you can know whether you are fully onboarded or any support that you need from me. So basically that will be the entire transition checklist. Before I move on, you have any question for this part? Yeah. I will create attraction checklist soon. Yeah, but it's hidden. But I think basically this checklist will help you all to do synergy. Like you all will know what to discuss in your synergy. For example, like marketeering, you're going to discuss with your A1 how you can grow market more strategically, something like this stuff. So yeah, I think back to here, right? Okay, no question, right? Okay. In case that you're blur, take note, just put down all those questions, ask your predecessor. I think they are very clear. So I think with that, there are one thing that I need to align with all of you all is like a working space, which basically I think I will probably can have like a very 10-minute working space for you all to come into this entire operation timeline. Because I think each of the LC here, you should have your timeline already and your predecessor should plan out. So I think what I need you all to do is you all can actually put down your operation timeline so that roughly national side we can actually start to plan ahead on what kind of campaign that we can do. And why we actually have to have these things is because of we're going to launch our campaign by WNC. So by WNC, you should know what is the campaign for the entire summer already. And we based on your timeline to plan. We try to suit on most of the LC timeline up. So yeah, let's have this working space. I think I will probably play some song. We will stop this working space until 9:48. Yeah, you can refer back to your resource and then put down your entire timeline for your own LC.
The other one that exchange participant to another country for the volunteer. So the objectives that we do a bidding process is actually to assess the LC capacity in running oGV operation without jeopardizing the LC operation. So for example, LC capacity, we look into whether do you have the manpower, do you have the structure to actually run this oGV, and then do you have the market that which is related to the second point, do you have the market that is actually wanted to go for a GV in your own LC or in your own area? And then we also want to align the direction of LC with AM to see whether is oGV will be a product that you are going to expand it in your own LC for a long run. So for example, are you wanting to focusing on oGV maybe in the winter or maybe in the next term? So it's like how is your direction towards the whole oGV product, and it's also something that we want to see. Yeah. So next one. And okay, so this is some updates on what is the focus of AM in terms of GV and NYV in summer 2023. So for NYV, right, it will still be our most focused product, and we have a total goal of like 900 of approval from here. And you can see for oGV, it will be our piloting product with a much lesser goal, which is only 50 realization, because it's something that we have stopped for quite a long time and we are going to resume it. So we want to pilot it first. Okay. So we have like, for NYV, we will have 5 campaigns, national marketing campaign to actually support the NYV. And for oGV, it's only we'll have 1 campaign. And this campaign is called IXP campaign. So ISP is actually, if I'm not mistaken, it means integrated experience. So it will be for example, alumni of ISAC or the membership of ISAC. So they will be called IXP. So for oGV, this product, in summer, only summer 2023, we're only focusing on to open to IXP, which is alumni or even the current membership of ISAC. Okay. However, for NYV, it will be open for everyone, like all the youth, maybe it's in foundations, year 1 or year 2. It can be ISAC member or it can be stranger or anyone. Okay, so this is what why we have this kind of concept is also because of the concern on the competition of oGV towards NYV. So if let's say we are running both product in our own LC, right, how we make sure that NYV as a focus product, they still have the enough supply, okay, for the IGV to run their own project. Okay, so I think the main thing is if let's say we are focusing on oGV and then we want to try to bring a lot of people out of Malaysia, but we need to think on our own local IGV. We are running project and it's also depend on the same market. So since MIV is still our main focus, so that's why we only open the oGV for the alumni or even for the membership. Okay, and then next slide. So the expected timeline of oGV bidding. So we will launch the bidding package on 19th of February, which is this weekend. And then the submission deadline is on 5th of March, which is we'll have 2 weeks. And just to take note that it's also WNC in between, so you can arrange your time better, like you want to do it before or you want to do it after the WNC, so you're able to meet the deadline. So whoever that is interested, I think I saw just now in the table at TU, right? So if you are interested to really bid for this product for summer, so make sure you submit before the deadline, okay? And the result announcement will be on, this is latest by 12th of March after we evaluate all the bidding submission. Okay, so Liang-Jun, do you have anything to add on?
Yeah, for me it's cool. I think mainly it's just make sure you are very aware of the timeline, and also this is the timeline that you need to actually, the oGV bidding, I think the criteria actually launched by 19, but one of the criteria is actually the research, which is like to show the relevance of your own market. So that's why it's important for you to actually push the research. And I think this research, because of it's not a new thing, it's actually a things that we actually delivered during 1st of January, but actually the it's not progressive since the 1st of January until right now. So probably it's like more on the things that your predecessor passed to you, and yeah, it's one of your responsibility to actually push it on as well. So make sure own membership fill in, make sure alumni fill in, and also only go to external youth, because of that will be all the entire market that we're focusing on. Okay, y'all got any question? Oh yeah, Bara.
I think my first question is it the same target for winter as well, for membership and alumni as well?
For winter
MYB.
Okay, I understand. For winter peak, I think we haven't really have like whether we focus on open up external, but I think it will depends on whether is it the relevance of the market is there already or not. But I think based on current plan, yes, after winter we will slowly open up more. We will not just put down like 50 go, right? We just like open up more quota, or like to focus more slowly to transitioning back to ELD. So in winter we expect to opening on external youth. And I think for next term, just a bit of growth path, right? In this term, we will strongly focus on IXP. The reason is because of right now we are in the piloting project. And after that, in next term, we expect a growth, because of next term should be the transitioning of AWA fully to ELD, which is like, for example, IGB, they should already resume their IGB as well. Yeah.
One more question, which is the MYB participants included in the IXP campaign?
The what?
The MYB participants.
Participants. Oh, the MYB participants here, it means is the past MYB participants.
So they are still included under the IXP, right?
Oh, no. Yeah, they are not considered IXP.
Understand.
Yeah, unless they join membership.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think also like the reason like why we put alumni membership and also MYB, right, is because I think if you refer like to the like the Isaac experience, let me see. Whether can I find it or not. Okay, this is a bit of the essence things already. Okay, so you see these things. I think this is outdated one, but it's the similar thing. MYB actually considered in under AWA, which is under the engaged side. That's why I think we want to push them towards the developed side, which is on our ELD product, on one of its GV, right? So our membership, I think we also want them to actually constantly experience our our product. That's why I think we also pushing them towards the ISA experience they want to see. Yeah. Yeah, sounds cool, right?
Can I have one more question?
Yes.
Can I know what is the minimum structure to operate GB in the LC?
Minimum structure to operate GB in the LC, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think main thing right now is because of how we foresee GB going to be operated, right? Right now, I think we don't foresee as a lot of changes compared to the um summer compared to the winter structure, because I think right now it's like how you do LR. It's like, like last time we actually do LR with other LC, and then we just get their project and then sell it to our youth. Just the different thing is right now you're doing IR instead of LR, which is like more on you getting the project from IR to sell. But the selling process is the same. You have the similar process or marketing process, sales process to match the youth. That's why I think we didn't expect the big changes. And then I think in terms of IR direction, I think probably Leon, you want to talk about like how the IR going to work on next term and next term, but upcoming peak.
Means okay, which IR we have, and then how we are going to engage LC those, right?
Yeah, like which IR going to have, and then our the national team role and also the LC team, the LC role.
Okay, so I think what is the thing that we will be doing? So for national side, right, we will be the one that forming all the international relationship, the IR relationship, and finding the project that is suitable for our youth. And then those projects also will refer to the youth research survey that we get, and then we'll try to suit the interest of our local youth to the project that we have in different IR. And then after that, we will summarize all the project into a tracker. We'll have an IR search tool, and this is a resource that AM will be provided to all the LC. So the LC can actually go to the search tool to actually identify which project their LC are going to focusing on, and also based on what is their LC market. And then on the search tool, we also will provide all those contact number, and then the material, the promotion material, the booklet, all those for LC to use. And then after, this is only the first forming process. So after the LC you have identified, and then you identify the project, and you actually started to have application coming in, right? Then it's a time that you can directly contact the contact person in the IR search tool. So you all can manage your own IR relationship with the host entity that have the project of your EP applied to. So you can do any communication channel with them, and that's basically how it will work. So for national side, we will help you, support you in terms of filtering all the project, and then you will have the project to search. And we also form the relationship in the national level. And then for LC level, you can also have your own IR group with those LC that we have already chosen. And then so currently, we do not have any IR meeting yet, and we will have one in next week. So it is for Isaac in Thailand. Yeah. So we're also looking for what kind of project that they are having, and hopefully I can update you all soon with the IR search tool as well.
Okay, thanks, Leon. Yeah. Sounds cool. Okay, any other question? Wave from Bara. Okay, I think definitely I think this is something that very new to us. We're going to like provide like we plan out the entire education plan going to deliver, so that we actually can tell you like how you can do to manage this product differently if you plan to kickstart, right? So yeah, I think that will be the support that National Sun going to provide to you. Okay, so I think with that will be the end of this GV updates. And I hope that you're excited because of we successfully piloted. I mean, among Asia Pacific, we are quite early among oGV to actually pilot. Not to say early, but I think it's like this entire application. I think the people who actually passed in January audit is actually very less, and Malaysia is one of it. So I think we should be proud. Okay, so I think with that, right, let's go into the next part, which is on the WNC expectation. I think this is a very quick explanation that probably each of you all as a VP have to take note, right? Or even have like as a future VP. You're gonna have your director soon. So make sure, I think this WNC is actually for every team leader, which I think you have to make sure you ensure you have the alignment of national strategy with your own strategy with 100% clarity. Why I actually emphasize on this is because of it during the functional track, we're going to launch our national strategy and including on what we're going to drive on. So if you are not clear, you can clarify before the conference itself. And I think why you need to be clear because of your director going to be here as well. If you're not clear, the director not going to be clear as well. And then they're going to be super blurred in the functional track. So make sure you actually onboard them with your strategy and you are very clear with this alignment. Second part, right, is more on your own learning and your own conference goal. Make sure you are very clear of it, on your what you want to learn and what you want to see at the end of this conference, because this conference is very conference that specially designed for team leader. At the same time, it's also a role model for you to actually harvest your own learning before you actually harvest your member learning. And I think the next part is also ensure member are very clear with the conference goal, because I think usually what we do is like we'll like this is I think what I experienced usually before we go to the conference, team leader going to tell us so what you want to see before the conference, what you want to see after the conference, and then brief us the agenda, those kind of things. I think that things usually be done by your CD, but you have to make sure member are very clear with the goal. You can even give them challenge, like for example, like in the conference, I will challenge you to approach maybe one VP or one MCVP per day, in like to have this kind of conversation. What is your purpose? What is your all those things? That is something they're going to develop their relevance, or in a way to build up their relevance. You're going to hold that for them for the entire 1 year, right? So this will be the things that make sure you take care of your own learning and take care of your own membership learning, because it's super important for your entire term, right? Okay, so I think with that, we also want to go on announcement. Announcement on the next part is also on WNC, where registration updates, right? So I think yes, oGV are actually pretty high, but I think you should know on like whether how's your registration for your own LLC, right? So make sure, I think you as a VP actually registered, because of it's a mandatory profile for you to actually be as a as your entity representative for this function. And if you couldn't like come to this conference, you can probably let me know, or assign a proxy. Let me know who is the proxy, so that I know who are them. And I think also to make sure your team leader, which is like your directors or your potential so-called director, even though right now I haven't go to MT, is registered, because that is super important for them to build up their team relevance, in order for them to have leading competency, have the relevance to lead the entire team, lead themselves for the entire year, and also to connect themselves with FAUM as well. So main thing, I think the part that very important here is because of this will be the first touch point, right? We always say that conference, we always give like those kind of post-conference syndrome. In a way, it's those kind of things, that those essence that's enough for them to build up. They're even going to think that, oh, maybe one day I want to become like you, LCVP, something like this. You're going to nurture them, start from WNC itself to become a successor, even though you just start your term, but you can start to nurture a successor, right? So yeah, I think that will be the things that you really want to actually emphasize on. So yeah, I think if there are no question, then probably we will move on to the last part, which is on the checkout and have a photo session before we go into the physical meet on the WNC. Okay, so yeah, I think I will stop share my screen and